What's up, Crypto Paradise fam? It's Ian and Nick. We are back with another project interview. We're here with Ivan, the founder of Arqx.ai, a project that, full disclosure, we have invested in. We're advisors on. We really love this one. They're launching on this upcoming Tuesday, so hopefully this video comes out right before. But yes, why don't we kick it off, Ivan? If you can introduce yourself and Arcx to the crypto paradise community, that would be great.
Sure thing. I just rocking my some the themed swag here. Got my Miami hat on too as well, which helps.
The
But yeah,
lenses,
so
the
again,
lenses aren't quite dark enough, but we'll take it.
I know. We'll black in post. We can blacken them out. Yeah. So Arcx is the world's first ever AI jewelry design platform. We're a mobile first application, so we're actually going to iPhone and Android, which is really exciting. So this is not a just browser based Web3 application that requires a lot of syncing, MetaMask, self custody. We are a consumer first application, and I think that's really important because we're trying to take our product to the entire world and let them come in, build their own jewelry, and join the Web3 community. I think that's really how we this next cycle open Web3 up to the whole world. But it's a very simple application. You can see if you check out our X and other social media, you'll see a lot of videos of people using it, even on Instagram, mainstream users, non crypto users. It's a really cool application. I can give you guys a little preview in a second, but lets anyone just within seconds download the application and then start designing unique jewelry in just a few seconds. And you get back these you just customize your style and then get back really amazing results on different kinds of jewelries. And these are all completely unique. The AI, every time it is queried, it's going to deliver you a completely unique piece of jewelry or multiple pieces, and then you can select those, keep iterating. And then once you decide, hey, this is my piece, I want to order this, you submit it, and then we will actually take over and start production on that piece. So we have manufacturing hubs all around the world, in India, China, and 2 in the United States, and we're onboarding more as we go. But that lets us actually manufacture these pieces all over the world and ship them all over the world. Our goal is to onboard even more. We have more that we're looking at in Europe, Africa, and other locations. So our ultimate goal is you design your jewelry, you submit it, and then it's actually going to be produced pretty locally to your residents, within your country, your region, actually bringing economy, money, and strengthening the economy in those local places. So really, really cool stuff. The bottom line here is decentralization, and you'll hear me talk about this. Is kind of like using the DeFi playbook as the theme that we want to actually bring to the luxury industry. The luxury industry, as other industries, have a stranglehold. There's a very small group of companies that are controlling the whole thing, whether that's the diamonds, certain companies controlling all of the diamond kind of supply there, and manipulating the prices. And then even things like sunglasses, there are actually the entire sunglasses industry. All of the brands are owned by just, 1 or 2 subsidiaries. So yeah, a lot of stuff that we want to actually think we can deliver, democratize, give the power of creativity back to the consumers. Let them, instead of depending on someone else to design your fashion, you get to design your own fashion. Anyone can do this. You don't need a degree in fashion design or anything like that. And then boom, ship it right to your door. And this whole platform is powered by the Arcx token.
Yeah, Ivan's already pretty hyped up now, so I don't think I need to hype you guys up. But what got me excited?
I know, I'm getting going right now.
What gets me excited about Arcx is a couple things. So, I got my investor hat on, I got my speculation hat on, my alpha hat on. There's a couple things that are interesting for Arcx, the token and the product. As far as the token, extremely low market capitalization, so a lot of upside there. But you're in these narratives that have been hot and I think remain hot for this next cycle. That's what got me interested. You're in the AI industry, and this isn't just a promise of generating AI or using ChatGPT to do some kind of product spinoff. You guys are already approved by Apple iOS, if I'm correct, and Android iOS for your application, where you go in and people are using your AI service provided to create jewelry that then they can then purchase for themselves, for their girlfriend, for their wife, or for their company brand, whatever it is. So there's a lot of upside there. And that's just what really got me going. And then on top of that, RWA has been really hot. Real world assets. Well, this is a Web 2 company coming over to Web 3 that is producing AI renderings into real world assets that have a value. Yes, you tapped into the luxury goods. You're paying, for Ray-Bans $300 versus the Walmart pair that's $20 just for the logo. Essentially, they're the same thing.
No,
So
and
here's your opportunity to
they're
get
made in the
luxury
same
design.
factory. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're made in the same factory is the crazy part.
You're getting that luxury design that you're choosing for a fraction of the price, which I think is really interesting. But also with that, precious metals have a value. If you guys have been paying attention to Peter Schiff, he's comparing the gold recent price action to Bitcoin, and gold's at new all-time highs, and Bitcoin is sluggish after the ETFs, whatever. These things like this right here, this is sterling silver, so this has an inherent value besides the art itself. If you ever need to break it down, you can go take this to a pawn shop, get it smelt, or get it sold. So I think that's another factor that's really cool about Arqx, about jewelry, and why people, historically, why do we have jewelry? Well, the kings and the pharaohs wanted to maintain their value, and this was a way that they could possess and retain value. The gold that they use, the gemstones they would use, the silver they would use, and the list goes on and on. And I still think that's pertinent into today's economy. And even easier, you can go to your market pawn shop, and I could sell this if I needed to for any other reason.
Don't sell your Arc pieces, people. They're going to be they're worth a lot more one day than they.
That's a great. I mean, just to point that out, that's actually in our roadmap we have an exchange. The name Arcx, X stands for exchange, so Arc Exchange. So just like in luxury and the fashion world, you have Armani exchanges, all these fashion exchanges, and then in the crypto world you have exchanges. So that's in there. So you will be able to sell your pieces. Don't sell them yet, but that's what definitely looking at for the future.
Yeah, I'm glad, Nick, you mentioned the sort of intersection between RWA and AI, and that's how I view Arcx as well from a narrative standpoint. So a lot you can get excited about just tapping into two hyped up narratives in the crypto space, but I think it's much more than that. We try to focus on projects that have strong fundamentals, a real product market fit, and then the token being actually tied back into the product. So Ivan, if you could talk us a little bit more about the product itself. When is it launching? How many signups do you have? And then thirdly, how is the token wrapped into the product?
Yeah, totally. So we're a little alpha here, but so obviously our TGE is next this coming Tuesday, May 7th. 2 days later, we're actually going to be releasing the iOS app. So right on the heels of the TG, which is really exciting. We'll be opening the doors to that and, putting the whole word out for our, kind of Web 2 side of things to, get all those new users. We have over 5,000 beta users signed up of people who want to use this application already. We've been running really cool ads with influencers in different parts of the world, both the US, overseas, the UAE. But these are really cool videos. It's just really fun, of like people getting to use the application, these influencers and stuff. And none of them have used a product like this before. So they're actually, you see actually genuine, a lot of stuff, people are like, oh, I'll try it out. But these people, like genuine excitement from these some of these folks, and those have sparked a lot of signups for on that beta side. So yeah, we're just so excited to open the doors to it, let people in. And Jen, yeah, as far as the users go, how does a Web 2 user actually drive the demand for a Web 3 token? So there's a couple different things. I'll talk about the two main utilities, and then I can there's a couple other ones as well. But the two main things are to think about are gas. This is the Arcx token is gas for the app. When you're designing jewelry and submitting it, there's always a need in any kind of application. AI is so processor heavy, it's resource intensive, so you have to have a tokening. Even if you're a Web 2 token product, you can go use some other kind of, even ChatGPT, these different softwares have tokens involved with their their backend and stuff. So it's kind of a necessary, it's a necessity to have a token, whether it's a crypto token or not, in an AI application. So our Arcx token is just that. So anytime someone comes on the platform, starts making jewelry, designing different pieces, then it's actually every time they do the submission, that gas is being paid in Arcx token. So as we grow our user base, even though they're not necessarily self-custodying or that point or doing anything like that, just having more like a higher quantity of users on the application, on the app using it is going to over time increase and increase and increase the demand on the open market for Arcx. And we're going to be using open market Arcx, not our own, like any treasury reserves for that. So, the more users, the more demand on the open market. The second thing is a 10% buyback and burn on all jewelry purchases. So once people, a lot of people just be designing, having fun, and then making that purchase, at a later point. And at that point, obviously those are higher ticket items. They can range from, anywhere from $500 for sterling silver stuff up to, 10,000 and above if you're adding diamonds, rubies, emeralds, all that stuff, platinum. And at that point, you start to do the math. Oh my God, okay, there's 10,000 pieces, this iced out pendant or something that someone bought, 10K. Guess what? $1,000 of that is going boom right back into the open market to buy back and burn the Arcx token. So again, as those two fundamental cornerstones of the business are ramping up and expanding, the demand is just going to keep going up for it. And as you mentioned, AI, RWA, I think we are the first that I've seen AI RWA combo project. And I actually more than RWA, I like to say RWB, real world business, because that's what it is. It's not just an asset that we're tokenizing, because you see a lot of that. Hey, we've tokenized this rock. It's like, okay, cool. But this is actually, a real world business that's being tokenized and worked into that economy. So that's what really exciting. I think we're the first to do that. And, it's just, once you start to put the math together, really exciting to look at.
And I feel like, you have a big Web2 business because you can have collaborations. DJs and artists can drop a necklace line and their fans are going to go buy it, which is huge for your revenues. But that means that's a non-crypto native user. So you did mention kind of, at least what I'm garnishing, is they don't have to actually custodize the Arcx to utilize the app. That can kind of go on behind the scenes without them really knowing based on their renderings and based on the purchases. And that will be done by the Arcx development team as far as buying it off the open market and whether that's being burned or being used for development fees or whatever. But they don't have to be a native crypto user in order to integrate and use this platform.
No, that's exactly right. We want to open, I think this is going to be coming to more and more Web3 projects in general. I think you see this in the SaaS space of like, hey, free products, freemium products, come in the door, just use it, become a user, join the community. And then you can upgrade into the whole Web3 world. And that's really what we're trying to do. So yes, when people download the app, they can start using it without any kind of wallet connections or self-custody, because it's just fun to use and, get people excited, share with their friends. And then once they start using it, then at that point, then you can start to look at, bringing them into the Web3 economy. We're doing some airdrops for, discounts on jewelry. Hey, if you do self-custody, you don't have to, but you could get another, 5% off this piece of jewelry if you actually, self-custody and get this back in Arcx token. Say, hey, what's that? And then, you take them down that journey. But 100%, this very simple mobile application that doesn't involve any of, the complexities and scariness, to be honest, a lot of Web3 applications. But it's that on-ramp, they can, use their credit cards, other pieces of, income streams to actually come in, make those purchases on the jewelry, but it all cycles back into, the Web3 economy.
This is one of the first projects that we've been involved with that I'm excited to tell my friends and family about. Right? Like, I can't wait to get it in the hands of my wife. And I've never said that before about any other crypto product or project, right? Because most of them are useless to people who are not deep in Web3. This is different. This is that onboarding product that you can be proud to show your friends and family. Here, go through, make your own jewelry. I think it has a potential for mass adoption outside of Web3, and that gets me very excited as well. All right, so we always like to also get to know our guests a little bit better here on Crypto Paradise. One of the segments we like to do is about one time. We want to hear from you, Ivan. One time you did incredibly well in crypto, and then one time you got wrecked. So you have any stories for us?
Oh my gosh. Let me think. Okay, I'll do the wreck first because the get the bad out of the way. Yeah, I bought one last cycle. You always want to do this. saw a project. I think it was pretty cool, but just the timing was very wrong. But called Cake Monster, and it was a meme coin that eats pancake swap tokens. It's
It's a
actually
good
cool
one.
branding. I actually, I would actually love to do a drop of them or something at some point, but that was right kind of before the bubble started bursting, and I was like, oh my God, this is the next Doge. And so yeah, I got smoked on that one right before the I think I checked my wallet on that recently and like almost, yeah, shed a tear. And then, but on the flip side, actually, I mentioned Doge. Doge was the first meme coin that I bought. I remember sitting at a brunch restaurant in San Diego many years back, and my friend actually told me about it, and he was like, "Oh man, that thing Doge is so silly. Can't believe people are buying that." And then I looked it up. I had never really heard of it. And then I saw this funny meme with this like that I don't know this like Giga Chad guy that was like I don't know with like neon colors and a giant chin, and that just like made me laugh. And he was like talking about Doge, and yeah, that meme was like this is so stupid that I just put in $1,000 on it, and I think that was in like 2020 or or 2019 or something like that. So that was my kind of my nice snipe way back.
Awesome.
Yeah, memes can go both ways, can't they? Right? Like,
Yes, exactly.
definitely, if you're investing in memes, that's probably going to be, you'll have a story about, yeah, that's the time you like made it. And
Yep.
then also that's the time you got rugged. So,
Yep, exactly. Oh, and this we do have our own meme for Arcx as well. We have Sparks, and they are our portal guiders that help give access to the Arc Forge, and they're very cute star-shaped intergalactic creatures that you'll see, all over our media and stuff like that. So take a look out for the Sparks.
Look at that.
yeah, I love the
Spark will have its own jewelry line, I assume. So when everybody,
Yes,
so
of
when
course.
everybody potentially, allegedly makes their 10, 20, 100x on Arcx tokens, they can get their Spark piece to wear
Of
around
course. Yep. That's for the whales.
That's the other thing I love about this project too, and then we'll just wrap it up with the final
Yeah.
question. But you can actually, you guys are wearing it. Mine's downstairs. I should have put it on.
Yep.
I have a Bitcoin piece, courtesy of you guys. You have that one, I think. Yeah, boom, there you go.
We got all the stuff in here.
Oh man, yeah, show.
This lion one is one I frequently wear. I love it.
Yeah, so badass, right? Like, how many times can you say that? Hey, I'm invested in this crypto project. I'm a community member of this crypto project. Like, check out the product itself.
Yep.
So rare.
Oh, you're so right in that, like, oh, what do you do in Web3? I'm at, like, we've all been at conferences talking to talking to people, and it's like sometimes your brain's gonna explode because you're trying to visualize like these 10 layers of abstraction in Web3 projects. But it's like you walk around a conference, you have these pieces of jewelry. These ones actually are smart pieces that have NFC chips in the back of them that can unlock a Web3 wallet that we paired with Gigantic's smart wallet for, or even your links for your own company or anything like that. You can customize it. So yeah, you walk around. It's a physical, tangible thing. People say, oh, I get it immediately off the bat. It has inherent, that inherent value, and then that inherent value kind of is that Trojan horse, so to speak, of after that, everything else. It's a foot in the door for all the other value that comes along with it.
That's awesome. That's well said too, because that's kind of how I think of it as well. And yeah, like you said with the NFC chip, like this one for example is the Ferrum Network logo. So if I scan this, it pops up the Ferrum Network's website. So it's kind of a promotion for them. People are using these for business cards or whatever it may be. So it's like you can customize these. You can have real assets on these. You can have just the base metal ones for fashion. There's just so many opportunities, so many options, and I think that's why it could be a big hit because Lady Gaga or whoever with DJ Khaled knows nothing about crypto, but he can drop his own piece and then, without him really knowing, he's benefiting Web3 and he's benefiting the crypto ecosystem because all of his fans are getting involved with a jewelry line.
Exactly. And that's, honestly, I think the reason why I actually called it ARC is because it's a kind of like Noah's Ark, the flood of inflation and the eventual meltdown of the different economies and stuff, unfortunately, that is incredibly potentially more likely. This is a hedge against that. Obviously it's more of a ticket on board the Ark, and that's kind of you want to get on board the Ark, you got to have the token, you got to be able to scan it, get on board, then you're safe.
I love that. I actually did not know that backstory.
Yeah, that was actually
It's
the
the Ark. It's the ship that's going to carry to Web3 Valhalla.
exactly.
So
Yep, keep you above the rising tide.
speaking of Valhalla, we like to end these interviews with a story about your experience in crypto. You know, transitioning from traditional work environment into crypto. What has that meant for you? What does crypto paradise mean to you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I've been super lucky in my career to work at some really cool companies. The first company I worked at was at HubSpot right out of college, which IPO'd shortly after I got there. And I got, such amazing experience there, and then went on to work at several different marketing agencies, several different fintech companies on the East Coast and West Coast. So really broad spectrum, and, did the traditional tech industry, but, working in fintech, leads you to, question what is money and all those things, which eventually leads to crypto. So that's just a little bit kind of like how I actually got, you get circled into the orbit. And I think the biggest thing is like, although some companies worked at amazing places, created great friendships that I still have today. But you're still, I think the paradise, it's not necessarily the entire industry or anything like that, because everything's structured. But for me personally, I think that crypto paradise is that freedom, and it's the freedom of your mind, it's the freedom of your physical location, it's the freedom to go where you want to go. And I think that's, the biggest thing for me is having that crypto paradise means, to be able to work where I want to work, obviously I work like nonstop, but it's still on my, it's when I want to do it. That's very important of your own agency. And then, yeah, to be able to travel, to be able to ensure, and work with people all over the world. That's something I think I don't think people talk enough about. I think I've worked in the traditional side of tech things, and it's very insular. You have to work in this state, you have to work in California, you have to be in this area. But oh my God, like, and people talk about diversity in like tech and stuff like that. I'm like, I've never worked with more diverse people in crypto all over the world. And like some of the, it just blows my mind of how cool every team is, just such a patchwork of different cultures and people. And I think that is just so cool. And I think, something that we can put, that more industries should aspire to as well.
Yeah, that's a super good point. That last point. I think that is an underappreciated aspect of working in crypto, because people who don't work crypto, they don't know that, but it is
Yeah.
extremely global. Like I'm on calls with people from all over the world all the time.
I love it. It's so cool.
And it's just fun. It's just cool. It's just different, and everyone's super cool. And
yeah,
like you said, the freedom to travel, freedom to do what you love every day. So cool, awesome, guys. All right, tell us more before we completely wrap this up. Where can we find more about Arq? Tell us about the token launch. When and where is that happening?
Yeah, so May 7th, it's 4 p.m. UTC in the East Coast in the US, 12 p.m., just noon on May 7th. So that countdown has started, but very exciting. We're going to be launching on Uniswap first, and then centralized exchanges a few days after that. So yeah, that's the kind of details. Make sure you stay glued to our channels on our Twitter as well. And Twitter is just making sure I get this right. So Twitter is twitter.com/Arcx AI. So nothing else in there. Arqx AI. X.com/Arcx AI or twitter.com Arcx AI. And yeah, you can see our the link tree and everything like that. Definitely come join our Telegram. I would say beyond following us on X/Twitter, get in the Telegram, because our Telegram is always popping. We got a great community, and that's usually where we have the like alpha, all the news updates go first to Telegram, and then then the bigger announcements will be out on X. So, but yeah, welcome everyone. Please come join. I think this is, I think we're starting something new this cycle, with obviously AI, but also all of these real world businesses and bigger communities. So I think opening this up, one thing I'm excited to is like, yes, we have investors, we have community members, but we want them to show this magic, and the app coming out will be able to happen. That we can make that happen, that everyone can share this with their friends, their family, their wives, their kids. This is, we hope, is going to be the way for people to be buying gifts and doing all this stuff. So this is finally a Web3 project that, we think everyone can care about.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know you mentioned you're launching May 7th on Uniswap. To also be clear for people, that will be on both, doing something unique. You'll be both on Base, which is the #1 scaling solution right now. TVL is exploding on Base, but you'll also be represented on the Ethereum chain as well. So whether you guys have assets on the ETH network or Base network, you can choose if you want to pay the high gas fees on ETH or if you would like to do the low gas fees on Base. So an opportunity for everybody really to get involved there. And then you already provided some alpha that nobody else knows. You already have sealed the deal on a couple centralized exchanges after the TGE period. So that's some alpha here seen on Crypto Paradise.
Correct.
Absolutely, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We hope to have you on again soon. I'm sure you will be on again soon. Remember, everyone, May 7th, 1600 UTC, 4 p.m. UTC. That's to launch the token on Ethereum and Base. Got a lot more exciting from there. I know the app is launching shortly thereafter as well. So there's a lot more to come from Arcx.
Yeah, once the app is out, I think we're gonna, do it.
Let's do it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time, and we will see you on the beach.
Awesome, guys.